In this lecture, we will talk about a story problem, which is the application of linear system of equations. Soybean is 16% protein, and cornmeal is 18% protein. So, how many pounds of each should be mixed together in order to get 320 pound mixture that is 14% protein. Here is the way to do it. You see, we want to find out how many protein, how many pounds from 6% protein and how many pounds from 8% protein. And then we assume X pounds comes from 16% and Y pounds come from 18%. And we need to find out XY. Based on the example is that how many pounds of each should be mixed together in order to get 320 pounds. If X pounds comes from 16 and Y pounds comes from 18%, then X plus Y for sure should be the total value, 320 pounds. So here is the first equation comes out. It's just based on their net weight. And then the second equation is based on the protein. It's based on the protein. Because, you know, for the same amount, let's say 100 pounds from soybean, you have 16 pounds protein. For 100 pounds of cornmeal, then you have 18 pounds, actually, their protein. So here, the second equation we get is that we want to find the second equation based on the protein. The first one was based on the net weight. All right. So X times 0.16, we get the protein from the first one, soybean. And then 0.08 times Y, we then get the protein from the second. And then we know the mixture, 320 pounds, the mixture has protein 14%. So it's basically 0.14 times 320. Okay? Now, keep going. Again, here xy, the coefficient of xy right here is 1, 1. So you have 1, 1 and 320. And then here is 0.16, here is 0.08. Now, here we have 0.14 times 320. What do we get? Is 0.14 times 320 we get is 44.8. That's how we get here. Now, we use a Gauss Jordan method to solve the equation. We have a element on row 1, column 1 is 1. So we need to make the rest of the elements in column 1 be 0. And then, you know, here is an easy one, is row 1 multiplied by negative 0.16 everywhere. And then 1 times this number is going to be the opposite number of this one. And you add the opposite number onto row 2, you will make this part be 0. Okay? So then we have is like this. Now, so you see 1 times, you see row 1 times negative 0.16, that's everywhere, times 0.16 negative, and add onto row 2, then you get new row 2. Okay, yeah, you see down here, negative 0.16 times 1 is just itself. I need to use 0.16. and add 0.08, and you get negative 0.08. Okay, and for this number, you know, what we have is 320 times negative, not this one, times negative 0.16, and then you add to 44.8, you then have a oh, you see, I input 0.06. It should 0.16. I do one more time. 320 times negative 0.16. 0.16. And then times plus 44.8. Alright. Hit enter. We then have a negative 6.4 here. Alright, so we have this one. The first row is not changed, so we keep it. Now, Gauss Jordan method says that there is the term for row 2, column 2, this element be 1. Then we divide the second row by this number, negative 0.08. Negative 0.08. You know, a number divided by itself, you always get 1. That's the reason we need to divide negative 0.08. Alright. Now, then, you know, row 2 divided by negative 0.08, we get new row 2, and row 1 is not changed. So row 320 is not changed. We got the new row 2 down here, and we can see this, you know, 0, here is 1, and negative 6.4, negative 6.4 divided by negative 0.08, what do we get? 80. This is how we got 80. Now, you know, once we get row 2, column 2 is 0, is 1, we need to make this one be 0. Any elements in column 2, any other elements in column 2 needs to be 0, except row 2, column 2. So we multiplied, here is every element in row 2 by negative 1, and then we add to that, is going to cancel that. Okay, so what we get is row 2 times negative 1, and add to row 1, we got new row 1. So that might be an easy part. You see, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, add on that, we have a 0. Okay, and then 80 times negative 1, add onto 320, we get 240. And then that we'll get 1, 0, 240. Downstairs, 0, 180 is not changed. Now, you know, up to this far, remember, we have 1001. We can write it back. We will get what? We will get this equation. Okay, one right here. You see 1 times x, 0 times y. Remember 240 is on the right. You see down here, 320 was on the right. Okay, so here 0 times x, 1 times y, and then equals 80. Because 0 times y is 0, so basically it's x, 1 times x is x, equals to 40. So x equals to 40, and then similarly, you see 1 times y is y, 0 times x is 0. So the second one is y equals 80. Okay, x is 240, y is 80. So x is 240, and y is 80. So what we can do is, if you need to write, you would write like 240 pounds of soybean, 240 pounds of soybean, and 80 pounds from here, 80 pounds of cornmeal should be mixed together to get 320 mixture of 14% protein. All right. Please review this lecture. I'll see you next time.